I'm Jimmy Lewis with Dirt Bike Test. We're out here at Erzberg in Austria, riding KTM's new TPI Fuel-Injected two-stroke. Today we got to ride around the famous trails from the Erzberg Rodeo, spending time on both the 250 and the 300. Of course, only the 250 is going to come to the United States in a limited edition. Pretty much going to focus on just talking about the engine. Really, if you were blindfolded and you hopped on this bike, I would say half of the riders would not even know that it's a fuel-injected bike. It's that good or not that different. It just works kind of like you expect it to. There are some real subtle differences. The whole time you're riding it, it feels and acts a little bit leaner than what you are used to. That's just because they've got it jetted to almost perfection. And they've tested it on benches and stuff, and they're very confident with, the fuel mixture and how it's working. The bike is also oil injected, so that's also pretty much perfect. And all day, unless you're really thinking about it, you kind of forget about it and you're just riding another two-stroke. The other big thing is when you're riding it, it has such good throttle response per se that you start realizing you can do bigger throttle openings at lower RPM. So it isn't as snappy, especially the 300 isn't as snappy as what we're used to with the carburetor. It's kind of like when we started fuel injecting four-strokes, everybody said they were very smooth, and for sure this bike is incredibly smooth. But you start learning you can make bigger throttle openings and get that snap back. So overall, really impressed. I mean, we rode up from the bottom all the way up to the top of the mountain, and you can't tell anything with jetting. It's really not a big enough change to notice it, but it was basically spot on and perfect all day. You're not losing anything, and it's not like you're gaining a whole lot either, other than it's just very simple when it comes down to it. The bike's always going to be jetted perfect. You don't have to mess with it. It's just push the start and go. The bike is very, very similar to the 2017 bike. You really don't feel much of a difference unless you start picking it apart and paying attention. So I think KTM's really hit a home run with the fuel injection. When we get one back in the States, we'll really put it to the test in places we're super familiar with. But overall, I think people are going to be really excited about this, and it's definitely the step of the future.